Hey, Chris House fans, guess what we just got in the new Kyosho Monster Tracker. That is nice. Had to reshoot this video a bunch. Gotta get in the zone. You know, people are like, "Oh, I just shoot a video and talk about it." It's like, "Oh yeah, huh? You think you can do what I can do? Well, you probably can, and probably better. And you probably have a better camera, maybe a microphone, maybe a little Wi-Fi. I don't know, right? We got Wi-Fi in here. Apparently, we don't have a password in here either. That's great." Long story. Anyways, we do have a password, so don't even think about it. So check it out. New Kyosho Monster Tracker. So we're going to go right into a head-to-head video, which I know people are like, don't you like to do like an unveil video and then like do, you know, hey, what do you think about it? And then do a head-to-head. I'm not going to waste time on that. I'm going to tell you why I don't want to waste time, because this truck is going to really show its strengths and weaknesses and differences by actually putting it to something else. We're doing a little virtual test drive. So this is the ECX amp. The ECX amp has been the best-selling under $200 vehicle we've carried for the last 2 years, basically since it came in. Now, I was very skeptical at first, but then as I used it more and more and more, I was like, this is great. And what I liked about the truck is you get oil-filled shocks. So let's take the bodies off on these. You get oil-filled shocks, you get nice electronics, you know, you get a wide bumper, and they don't break. When I say they don't break, I mean, we've sold maybe 20 or 30 replacement parts for these, and we've probably sold, I don't know, a ton. I don't know. So 2,000, that's a ton. Well, it's 2,000 pounds. It's a metric ton. Anyways, it's not getting the math there, okay? But there are some downsides too, pluses, minuses. So I'm going to show you, and we really like Kyosho's entry. Now, we get a lot of stuff. We get a lot of emails, and I'm going to be very careful how I say it, because I want, you know, our goal is to have everybody in the hobby having a good time, having fun, okay? That's, the more you out there having fun, you know, you're going to keep the hobby going. So we've got lots of emails for cars that are $129 US to $179 US, and I got to tell you, most of them I just don't bring in, and I'm really, really, really glad we brought in the Kyosho, and I'm going to show you why. So let's do a little comparo here, all right? As far as bodies, I'm liking both. They both use like a Lexan style material. The styling on the Monster Tracker body is friggin' sweet. The styling on the amp body is really good too, but I like how you get more of a kind of a defined, rugged old truck. You know, it's got the logo in there. It's cool. Like, you know, I like it. It's cool. It's good. As you can see, it's a little smaller than the amp one as well. So when we're looking at the chassis here, I really, really love all this this extra like support, okay, like a tub style chassis. And you know, ECX is a great chassis as well. But all these little ridges, like, I don't know, it's just kind of old school. I love it. You know, it's like trust. It's pretty cool. I trust it. Somebody said they subscribed to us because they like the puns we used. I don't know. Actually, I love it. Okay, tires, friggin' sweet. Okay, oversized tires. They're about the same height as what you get for the ECX, but wider, which is really cool. Rubber compound, both are good. I do like the Kyosho maybe a little bit better, but I just like a Chevron style bad arse tire. Okay, but they're not glued to the rims, which is kind of weird. Now, some people are like, ew. Like, I know some people will recoil at that. Keep in mind, this is a sub $200 truck. So just pipe down a little bit. Pipe down. Because you could buy a $10 thing of glue and glue it up. But if you ever got a lot of dirt in them, you could always just, you know, take them apart and clean them. Suspension travel, you know, you're going to get actually good out of both. You definitely get a little bit more out of the ECX. It's got wider suspension arms as well. Wider does mean more twisting. It can mean more braking, but I gotta tell you, the durability of this truck is fantastic. So durability seems to be kind of a non-issue. Now, Kyosho use fixed links as well, but they have these friction shocks, and I gotta tell you, that's always a pee-off for me. I'm like, come on, like, and then you go here, okay, oil filled. However, in the box, just like the Kyosho Axe and some other vehicles, they give you oil and a seal kit. I kind of like that. I wish they just did it from the box, like from the factory, but it is included. It's kind of weird. I'm trying to think of like, okay, it's like, remember N64? Okay, now I'm talking to people at least who are 28 years up and older, okay, as of 2017. You remember how you're like, oh, I want to get that game. There was a Zelda game, and then there was like Star Fox game, you had to buy the jumper pack. It's like, frig off. You know, I bought this N64. Now I gotta buy this jumper pack and stick it in the front? Just include that, right? So they actually included it, but it's like, just have it from the... Put the oil in the shocks, okay? All right. I know you guys are really shocked at how much time I've... It's another pun. It's good. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But you get plastic shocks, okay? So let's move on here, okay? Body posts, stuff like that. You get adjustability here. You do not get adjustability here, okay? But they're really tall, which is good. So you actually can mount on more bodies easier. This, mounting another body on here, have fun with that. It sucks, okay? And they're not adjustable. These guys, you can actually mount a standard truck body on, which is a downside we find with a lot of bodies like this. You really only have, because I mean, it has to be in the little valley to fit it in there, okay? All right, let's move on to the rear end, and then we're going to take a look underneath, and then we're going to take a look at the electronics, okay? Rear end, both companies are known for making pretty tough rear ends, okay? We're not going to go through all the, we're not going to spend a ton of time and go through the damn things, but you get, a slipper clutch included in both. As far as I know, I think you get a slipper with the Kyosho. That's what I was told. You do get metal dog bones, plastic telescoping shafts. Both are actually very strong. A lot of guys tend to navigate towards, or gravitate towards metal. They're like, I have to have metal. Okay, these plastic ones, I mean, they'll take it all day long. It's great. But like, look at some of the oversized like pieces in here, like this rear like bearing holder, right? Like your rear stub shaft holder, or I should say carrier. And you got a little bit smaller guy. That really doesn't matter though. It's all about just running the darn trucks, right? But like, look at the little tiny arms there. Look at the big arms on here. But again, durability was a very, when we sold the Axe here, the Axe was really neat style truck. I still like it to today, but this is really what a lot of guys are after, okay? Just a bigger, more substantial truck. But I only sold a few parts for these. It was very uncommon. So you have a tighter wound spring in the back, which is really cool, and a really lighter wound spring in the front. So they take the time for that. Like, even little things like, you see how the fronts are threaded down a little bit more, the backs are not. The setup on these vehicles is inherently better out of the box, and the attention is paid there, okay? Let's go to chassis, then we'll go to electronics, okay? So, I really like these battery hold downs here. This is really cool. Okay, you just take this off and have a nice day, and you pull the battery out, okay? You just turn these, okay, and then you pull this out, and you replace your battery, okay? Batteries do come with both, but Kyosho's got this cool little thing. You just push and slide, and then slide this forward. It's hard to do with one hand here, okay, guys? I don't know if I can actually pop it up. Damn it! I need two hands for this. Anyways, so, and you just pop this cover up, boom. So you don't actually have to, it doesn't explode, because people are like, oh, you said boom. There we go, I got it. Okay, and it comes with a Dean's connector, I really like that. And you get foam in here too. Foam is nice, because it doesn't rattle around. It's not like a bag of hammers, okay? So let's flip over the ECX here. One thing that the ECX, both chassis are really simple. There is like literally no freaking hardware on these things, which is really, really great, okay? The bumper is, you do have a separate two-piece chassis design. So your bumper's in it, like you have this front plate, then you have the main chassis. For these guys, the chassis is all one piece. I've never sold a chassis for these. Okay, it's important that I say that, because a lot of people will point out what they consider as a defect, and what happens with the one-piece chassis a lot of times, Red Cat Blackout is always victim of it, and the Volcano is you hit something in the front, you got to replace the whole chassis, and that freaking sucks, and it's like a $30 part, okay? But here's where the big difference is, where I kind of put a few more bucks into the Kyosho, and this is really why I think it might be a little bit more of a winner. And this isn't for everybody. So with ECX, sorry, let's go to Kyosho. With Kyosho, you get a separate speed control. So you get a nice little speed control. These are like 30 amperes kind of thing. You get a nice little receiver, and you get a separate servo, okay? But you get a separate servo with all of them. But with this guy, you get an all-in-one. So you lose the separate components. Now, some of you might be asking, well, why do I care? Well, you might care because the integrated electronics, you cannot run LiPo on these. These are only safe for nickel metal hydride. Now, I know someone out there in internet land will go, yeah, I can run an external LiPo Beck thing there. It's like, well, yeah. It's not a Beck. That's something else. But you can run an external LiPo monitor if it hopefully doesn't break and, you know what you're doing. But that's an experienced kind of add-on that a lot of guys simply are not doing, okay? Because electronics have gotten cheap. But here's the thing. So a lot of guys are like, well, what if I wanted to upgrade to separate electronics? Well, it's going to cost you, well, you got to buy a new radio and receiver. So that's 60, 70 bucks. And then you're going to have to buy a new ESC, which is going to cost you 50, 60 bucks. Okay, so just to run LiPo and just to have it separate. Where this guy is all separate. And I hope I'm not losing you there, but what this really means is if you want to run LiPo, this is not really the best truck. It's good for nickel metal hydride. Okay, where this guy, you can actually run LiPo or nickel metal hydride. And if you want, you can upgrade just the speed control and just the motor. Let me elaborate. So if you want to run brushless in this, you have to replace the motor, the speed control, the receiver, and the radio. This guy, you can just upgrade the motor and the speed control. You're going to save 70, 80 bucks. It's cool. I like it. It's something that really needs to be paid more attention to, but at the same time, both trucks are great. Okay? I've wheeled the older versions of these, like the Axe. They're fun as heck. You just bash it into stuff. There's another big difference here, too. Oh, look at the box art. The box art looks better than on the Amp. Actually, the Amp MT box art does look good. Oh, we're getting into like a 12, 13-minute video here. You do get battery and chargers with both, and yes, both batteries and chargers suck, okay? So let's move on. By suck, I mean you're going to get 20 minutes of runtime, Merry Christmas, right? So this is what you get with the ECX. This is actually a really cool little radio. You have adjustable throttle and steering dual rate, okay? And you can adjust the steering trim and the throttle trim. I'll let you guys YouTube that, okay? But basically what this means is you can adjust the trims of, like, you can adjust if you want the truck to go a little bit more left or a little bit more right. You just play with one of these knobs here, okay? The one up in the bottom right, okay? Bottom right, that's gonna adjust your steering trim. The dual rate's good because you can turn the speed down for newer users. It's very easy for Tony I or anybody in this hobby to just talk very technical, okay? Because there's a lot of jargon we throw around. If we're ever talking too much, well, I never shut the hell up. But you guys let me know, and we'll explain something to you, okay? With the Kyosho, you get this sick, friggin' old school looking, radio. This is probably the coolest radio I've seen come in a car in a long time. It's really hard to explain why, but I think of and I know I'm going to get chastised for this. It reminds me of the old, Nico and Tyco stuff. I love the shape of this radio. It's good for adults. It's good for kids. Where this guy, you can't sit there. Look at it. Look at it. It's just going to fall over. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, I'm just kidding. Okay, so this you get, so this has a plastic knob. The Kyosho, you get the rubber ring around it. That's just cool. And you get your steering trim, throttle trim, and your dual rates as well. And I like this. This feels better. Look at it. It's a full pistol grip. Looks like, I don't know. It's cool, right? Both are excellent functionality. Both work great. I'll let you guys be the boss of what you like. You're in charge. You tell us what you like better. Post your comments below. But you know what? I love the amp. We always have. And the amp, we've got tons in stock. We've stocked up for Christmas. But when I see this monster tracker, I don't know. I get a little, put the oil in the shocks, glue the tires to the thing. You spend $10 extra on it, spend a little extra time. This to me is what I think a real modern, fun, hobby grade truck should be all about. And they don't make tons of upgrades for them and whatnot because they're meant to just go beat the hell up, right? If you're a guy out there going, well, how do I get it faster? Grab yourself an ECX Torment, grab yourself a Caldera, grab yourself, maybe a Terremoto. You can go with a nice, even a Yeti if you want. If you're after be-all end-all speed, go for it. Where we really like these is younger users or very recreational occasional users, okay, and young guys. This is, and families. I can't tell you how many families come in and, Papa Bear, Daddy wants the big Caldera or wants a Slash 4x4, and I say, you know what? You could buy that truck, or why don't you buy you and your 9 kids? Oh, jeez. You have to buy yourself a, I don't know, here. I don't even know. What do you do when you have 9 kids? Just run one of these into yourself, and sure, it's less painful. I'm sure it's wonderful too all at the same time. So, getting back to what I was saying, you grab yourself a Slash, yeah, it's fun, and you get this for the kids. Well, you know, the problem is when the kids have this, you're just gonna stomp them. You're gonna kill them, right? Because you know, if you got a 4x4, even a 2-wheel drive brushless vehicle, you're gonna stomp it. So where we like these is come in and grab 4 of them, 3 of them, whatever. Grab one for your wife, grab one for your husband and your kids, boys, girls, whatever. Grab some clear bodies, paint them up, and go and have some family fun. You know, we like to do lots of combos where you could get, you know, extra batteries, chargers, and a few trucks. You'll save a couple of bucks, and you're gonna have a really good experience. Okay, guys. I can't believe I spent 16 minutes going over some entry-level trucks, but you know what? The attention deserves to be paid, and the industry and these companies are finally paying attention. So I'm going to give them the credit where it's due. I have to try not to say doo-doo. Anyways. All right, so you guys got a couple of puns in there. If you like the puns, you know, comment below. Subscribe. Okay, guys, have a good day.